Bolton and Burnden Park in recent seasons, the venue for many of Rugby League's top cup matches. A ground that provides such a wonderful atmosphere, and that's the prize at the end of the Wembley Trail, the Rugby League Challenge Cup, decorated with famous names which have graced its illustrious past, and we can just possibly see the first ever winner in 1897, Batley, the premier side at the turn of the century, achieving a cup round winning sequence of 13 matches and a record held for 92 years until the team of the 1990s, Wigan, surpassed it and now extended it today to stand at 23 successive cup wins. And earlier this afternoon, Alex Murphy spoke to both of the coaches, Wigan's John Money and Bradford's Peter Fox.
Well, John Money, first of all, congratulations on signing the new 12-month contract. Are you happy about that?
Yeah, I'm very happy. It's a great club, Wigan, and you know, I'm glad that I'll be there for another 12 months.
Now, John, this could be 5 times going to Wembley. Is it not getting a little bit boring?
Never gets boring when you win and you're a professional rugby league coach, so the players enjoy it and I enjoy it.
Well, you know very well that we all know, Alex, that Wigan are the favourites. They're a very good side. We're taking no chances. All we can do is put the 13 lads onto the field and let them have a crack at doing the best job in the business, and that's winning a semi-final.
Well, I'm sure those Bradford Northern fans will be hoping that Peter Fox, their coach, is correct. It's a mild day, hardly a breath of wind here, and the Wigan army of fans in good high spirits as usual. Bradford Northern coach Peter Fox suffered 4 blows this week. Tony Anderson, Ian Wilkinson, Tony Marchand and Steve McGowan all missing, but still a very strong lineup. I like the 2 halves, very strong nuggets there. Summers and Itty had a very powerful pack in front. But Wigan had doubts also over Joe Lydon and Neil Cowie. Both cleared up yesterday, so a full-strength team. And what can one say about a galaxy of stars like that, except to say that Martin O'Fire, the world's costliest player, he's very keen to stretch those legs on the famous Wembley turf. Crowd still pouring in here at Burnden Park. The ideal venue, I think, for a Rugby League Cup semi-final. The crowd in very close contact with these players, and a nervous time for the players now, none more so in a semi-final. When a team gets to Wembley, there is the satisfaction, win or lose, of being there. Here, we're just 80 minutes away, but of course David Hobbs, the Bradford Northern skipper, no stranger to Wembley. Carl Fairbank, Neil Summers, and little Brett Eatty from Auckland in New Zealand. Bradford Northern, the underdogs. 1973, the last Challenge Cup final. And looking to cause an upset here with the team of the 90s. 23 successive Challenge Cup wins, stretching back to February 1987, the last defeat against Oldham. And as David Hobbs said earlier this week, somebody has to beat them, so why not Bradford Northern? Well, I'm sure Sean Edwards, Andy Gregory and Martin O'Fire, Gene Miles from Brisbane in Australia, Botica from New Zealand will have something to say about that. Wonderful atmosphere, but the sort of atmosphere that both captains will be used to. 2 very experienced players. David Hobbs for Bradford Northern on the left there, a former Lance Todd Trophy winner at Wembley, and Dean Bell, New Zealand skipper, international superstar, both of them accustomed to the big matches. Doesn't David Hobbs look a little nervous? Assistant coach to Peter Fox, and referee Robin Whitfield, he came along yesterday to check this pitch. He's having another look around. I was with him at 12 o'clock today on the pitch. He covered every inch of it, checking the dead ball areas. Very experienced referee. Twice a whistler in 2 cup finals at Wembley. We couldn't really have any better venue than this. The fans packed in tight, the players ready to see who faces Castleford. And one man who wants to get to Wembley. Surely that famous turf will be ideal for this man. One of the world's finest sprinters, try-scorer extraordinaire. And just the formalities. Just checking on the coin here from the club mascot, David Hobbs, I think, to have the call, electing to stay as they are. No breath of wind, I don't think playing either way will have any real effect. And Ross, a little tingle at the back of the neck here. It really is an occasion, isn't it?
Right, the further this competition goes, the more exciting it gets. I thought the last St Helens game was a great game and it was a cracker. The St Helens fan and the Wigan's fan, you know, they were ecstatic and we couldn't hear ourselves think during that match. Yet here we are in the semi-finals against Bradford Northern, who's, you know, a fair way down the ladder. Yet the crowd's here again and they're cheering just as loud.
John Mooney there, taking out his pen, obviously to make some notes. A very calm, confident coach as well he should be. Bradford Northern then to kick off from left to right. Wigan's Dennis Betts in the customary cherry and white hoops. Bradford Northern the red, amber and black. The usual formalities in any Challenge Cup final, Ross. The packs having a go at each other.
Yes, well, they're two very big packs. Bradford Northern's always been renowned for big, heavy forwards. But the Wigan pack out there today would just about be as strong as it. And they're probably a little bit more mobile.
I don't think Wigan will want to get involved in a pack performance with them, though, Ross.
Well, they've got the pair of halfbacks that must overshadow the Bradford halves in Edward and Gregory. And I'd say after the normal softening up period, I think you'll find that those two little terrors will take over.
And that's a good kick. Joe Lydon testing this youngster. Number 1, Alex Green, only 21 years of age, only 8 matches under his credit. Good idea there from the experienced Joe Lydon. And Henderson Gill, former Wigan favourite. Many of our viewers will remember that famous smile and wiggle when he scored at Wembley for Wigan. And that's what Ross Sturridge was calling about. Big, strong lads up front. Number 8 there, Paul Gratian. Driving in. Bradford already, Alex, using this big, strong pack down the middle.
Well, Bradford, obviously, Ray, will do the things they do best. They know they can play the ball close down the middle, but it's going to be a very interesting game. Everybody keeps saying how good Bradford pack is, but how would you like this Wigan pack with Neil Cowie and Kelvin Skerridge sat on the bench? They must have really a lot of class to be able to do things like that.
Yes, and we can see there's not much difference between them, just £3. That's interesting. When we talked about Batley early on, in 1897, the average weight was 12 stone 2 in the forwards. Would you believe it? 12 stone 2 a man for that Batley pack. A different game today. And we can see a different game when we see number 4 there. A centre, 16 stones, Gene Miles. Seasoned test player. Wigan on the attack. Andy Platt. Bradford Northern certainly will want to contain Wigan in these early quarters. Dennis Betts running out wide. Great pace, this Great Britain second row. Many of our Australian viewers in Sydney will remember him in the World Sevens not so long ago. Oh, beautiful ball from Gregory to McGinty. Gregory looking for the high or the little grubber. No, the drop. It's the first point. Yes. Andy Gregory. Sensible play. Never come away from your opponent's 25-yard area without a point. 1-0 already for Wigan.
Yes, here it is on the replay. Ball goes out quickly to Gregory, settles himself and kicks it over, and there's no doubt about it, Ray. That's gone straight between the centre there.
Not scored many points this season, Gregory. In fact, his only points, Ross, dare I mention it, were a try against London Crusaders right at the beginning of the season.
Yes, well, we kept him quiet that game, but he did slip through right near the end of it. Maybe we put a hoodoo on him, Ray.
But he certainly makes some tries. To Billy McGinty. Tremendous bargain buy in last summer. £80,000 from Warrington. Very fast second row. Martin Dermot, and of course not just a Wembley appearance at stake here, but possibly a trip to Great Britain and New Zealand this summer for many of these players. A chance to catch Great Britain coach Malcolm Reilly's eye. Betts again. Oh, causing lots of problems out here wide. Just can't get the ball away. O'Fire trying to get away himself. Gregory at the hub of things already. Very powerful, strong player, this Andy Gregory. a veteran in 25 tests. More's the pity that he's retired from test football. John Edwards. Cross kick. Gerald Cordell. Miles on a fire, staying away the statutory 10 yards. They were in front of the kicker when the ball was kicked. Alex, any specific instructions from the coaches down there on the bench?
Yes, I was talking to John Money before the game, and he did draw to my attention that the Bradford fullback, the young boy, young Alex Green, would get a lot of high balls. He's a little bit inexperienced, and I think that's what we're going to play on early. And also what Bradford says, they're going to just take it as it comes. They're going to play Wigan where it matters.
Not the best of kicks there from David Hobbs, straight into the arms of Fran Obotika. And Edwards sensibly attacking on the short side, but offside. Mr. Whitfield from Widnes, spotting offside there. 11 years as a Grade 1 official. Very, very experienced man, just a man for the semi-final.
Well, it's very early in the match, but it's quite obvious that Wigan are going to keep this ball moving around and make the Bradford forwards have to chase them in defence. Every time that ball's being played, it's going through 2 or 3 sets of hands, which I think is very important.
And here it is, 2. There's the third one. Gregory. Oh, the bad ball picked up by Betts. Not a knock on. The ball went behind him. But good, close defence there from Northern. Good tackle there from Neil Summers, former Headingley lad. Gregory again, hasn't he been at the hub of thing? A beautiful pass to Bell, to Botica, but that's a good tackle. Roger Simpson, number 4 there, cutting across field. But as Ross Strudwick said, Wigan throwing this ball all over the place. McGinty under pressure. The 6th tackle coming up now. Gregory, good ball to Betts. They've got to clamp that ball. A little bit of handover. It is. Good defensive stint there by Bradford Northern, Ross.
Well, that was good defence. They were under a lot of pressure from Wigan then, who are moving the ball around, and they've got some big, powerful players there. But the Bradford defence stayed, and they kept a straight line across the field and moved up in one unit. It was a good effort.
And I think 1 or 2 of those Bradford forwards getting back a little slowly. Certainly the Wigan attack there took a little out of them. Bradford 4 times winners of the Challenge Cup, but their last appearance 19 years ago. Oh, it's a bad loss.
He was lucky to get away with that. I thought the number 11 was offside there, Hobbs. The ball was dropped forward and he was standing in front of the play, but the referee has chose to just call it a knock-on.
It's nice to see a loose forward, though, number 13, Carl Furbank, trying to move the ball away. So many loose forwards in the modern game are just runners and tacklers with the ball, Ross.
Well, they are. Carl is a good player, and he's in the Great Britain squad. Now, I'm sure he'll go to Australia in the summer. I think it's going to take a player like him to move the ball tight in for Bradford actually to come up with a try, because they're not going to do it by running over top of the Wigan pack.
Gregory. Good play by Edwards, but good cover. Roger Simpson there, the former Great Britain tourist, 1990, not going to let Edwards go. They'll be keeping a close eye on these 2 Wigan halfbacks. That's the hub, that's where everything operates from. Here they are again. Edwards, Gregory. How many times do we tell that duo? Betts. Interesting to see Dennis Betts keeping on this left wing side, keeping where the fire is. I think he's looking to make half a break and find a fire alongside him. Good ball! Edwards again. But good tackle, and again it's that man, number 6, Neil Summers for Bradford. But the pressure still on Northern. Gregory again, the long ball. Bell couldn't take it, Botica does. And what an attack Wigan have launched here. Gregory, the jink. Oh, the pass! Tremendous effort there from Gregory. He just threw that ball instinctively over his head, and he found Dean Bell. But good tackle by Henderson Gilder. Wonderful rugby from Gregory. And Bradford really have got to sustain this. Just look at that pass there, Ross.
Yes, it's an excellent pass, Gregory. Well, that's the flair that we're used to from him, and he can do something just out of the ordinary at any time.
Oh, what a good ball! Yes, and it's Bradford now streaking away. He's got Gerald Cordo. Why didn't he give it to Gerald Cordo, the wingman? What a timely break there by Darryl Shelford. Summers again, and Bradford weather the storm. Good kick. Oh, beautifully done by Botica. Superb play. They'll remember sidesteps like that in Auckland at the North Shore Club from Frano Botica.
On again, we're going to ball, any minute. Come on, get up.
Dark. The pitch, Alex, very firm down there.
The pitch is in excellent condition, and really it should suit both sides. But Wigan have been saying they must keep this ball alive and run Bradford about and not let Bradford settle down into any pattern.
Well, if Bradford Northern can weather this storm, who knows what could happen, and it certainly is a storm. It's Betts been in the action down this left wing. Obviously, John Money positioned him out here wide. Gregory, the high one. That's a lot of pressure on this boy Green. He misses it. Should be a play on. He knocked it forward. Wonderfully done by Lydon to Clark. Good stop by Medley. Oh, Medley, international second row, number 11 for Bradford. And just look at that possession already, Ross. 70% for Wigan.
Yes, it's a lot of possession, but at the same time, if Bradford can sort of hold this pressure up, what happens a lot in rugby league is the side attacking run out of ideas, and the side defending will come up with a try. So, you know, while they're defending like this, Bradford are still a chance.
Over 11 minutes gone, and non-stop Wigan attack. Oh, credit to Bradford, but can they hold on? Gregory, the good ball to Edwards now, then he's got Peter one on the outside to Botica. Cuts inside with that sidestep, likes to come off that right leg, but Simpson there, sure as ever. But still this relentless pressure goes on. Miles, 16 stone, can he get it away? He does, to Dennis Betts. Wigan are in. The sheer pressure toll in the end. Relentless pressure. Gene Miles, 16 stone, charge at the line, and then Dennis Betts, the first time he's wandered over to that right-hand side of the field. The 22 years old Great Britain second row nips in there for his 16th try of the season.
Here goes Gene Miles. He's well held here, but he does a basketball one-handed pass out to Betts. Betts does well to reach back to pick it up, then spins out of a tackle and crosses over with two defenders on him.
We see that man at the helm again. It's Gregory, isn't it? The short pass, but there holds himself up. No stopping Betts.
Well, they're in numbers again, Bradford, but yeah, they get to Gene Miles well here, but I think you know, having 70% possession against them, the defence finally told on them, and they are starting to lose a bit of their strength in their tackles.
Something just had to go. Frano Botica. Well, I haven't seen that before. He fell over, obviously tripped over his bootlace.
This Wigan side, they'll do anything to get on TV, won't they?
You know, I used to have a coach when I played at St Helens, Stan McCormick, always used to insist that you tied your bootlaces, and I wondered why. In 7-8 seasons it never affected me, but there we see why.
He just keeps getting better all the time, Dennis Betts. He's going to have a big tour.
And so does this lad, prolific point scorer, 224 points already this season, and another two. Simple for Frano Botica, adds to his goal tally, and Wigan ease out now, 7 points to 0, 13 minutes gone. And really something had to give there for Bradford, Ross, didn't it?
Well, Wigan have had all the ball, and you can't defend against the Great Britain side without them scoring try after 11 or 12 minutes. Something's got to give, and I think when Bradford's had the ball, they haven't done enough with it. They are going up the middle, which Wigan want, and when they get the ball, Wigan, they're fresh, because no one's been doing any work except the men in the middle.
Bradford Northern, Alex, having great difficulty keeping up with the speed of this Wigan side.
Well, I was saying before, John Money did say that he wanted the lads to keep the ball moving around and obviously keep this big Bradford pack moving about. And it's a lovely dry ground, so it should shoot Wigan.
A fire. Tried the dummy, just couldn't get away. Edwards, but just look at the speed of this Wigan passing. Great individuals, but a great team. And Ross, have we ever seen territorial advantage like that before? Bradford hardly out of their half.
Well, that's a sign of a good team, because they're not making mistakes when they get the ball, Wigan, and when Bradford get it, they do make a mistake, and Wigan capitalise it.
And here they are now, Steve Bell with Edwards. Edwards, he's going for that line, but Simpson's got him. Good cover from Cornwall and Simpson. But Edwards has scored so many racing down the middle there. Classic half-back play. But just look at this Wigan pressure again. Dermot. And Northern penned back on their own line. This is really some performance. Miles. Gregory, he's got the short ball. He's in. Oh, Lucas is under the post. A little shimmy from Andy Gregory. The power and, dare I say, the pace there of Ian Lucas. Ripped in under the post. And are Wigan on their way to that 5th success in Wembley already? The antiques dealer from Wigan. Well, in future years he'll remember this, Ross.
There goes Andy Gregory again. I mean, he's a master. He's been doing this for a decade and he's still getting away with it. But for Big Lucas to come charging through there, like he come through like a centre himself. Gene Miles has taken the ball across, gives a good ball to Gregory. And then you've got Lucas coming through there like he's like a 10-year-old kid there coming through there, 100 mile an hour.
And it's Gene Miles, the initial pass, Gregory, the little short pass, and that's what prop forwards are there for, bursting onto the ball. Pottinger, 2 more. So Bradford, a mountain to climb in this semi-final. Wigan already 13 points to nil up and almost averaging a point a minute. Lucas obviously feeling very happy with himself. That's his first try of the season. And Alex, just what can Bradford Northern do to get away from their 25-yard area?
Well, there's not a lot they really can do. There was a comment last week when Wigan played Leeds that it was near perfection from every man in the team. And I would think this game also, the way it started, is going that way. You've got to feel sorry for Bradford. They're being totally outclassed by a team that's going better and better every time they play together.
Wigan, the dream start that they wanted. Unbeaten for 5 seasons in this Silk Cup Challenge Cup. And John Money just quietly assessing the game, speaking into the walkie-talkie there, sending instructions down to the bench, but I don't think he needs to send so much down. Gregory, the chip, but back to Lydon. Lydon again, testing the youngster, Alex Green. Not played in the first team for 6 months. October his last outing. Little respite for Bradford, and Craig Richards, the 22 years old former Great Britain under-21s player, coming on the field for number 10, John Hamer. Well, Peter Fox looks very, very contented there, sat amongst the press section. And there we see Craig Richards, another prop forward, taking the place of John Hamer. Itty. And Bradford's first semblance of an attack to Hobbs. Richards got to get that ball going. Medley, now there's a forward who can run, very pacey, £140,000 buy from Halifax. Fairbank. Not got the support to Hobbs. Medley. But the difference there, Ross, the forward's not coming straight, were they?
No, Hobbs has got the ball there, and he only had one player in front of him. And, you know, I thought he could have taken him on and then slipped the ball around the corner, but before he hit the defence, he unlaid the ball to somebody else standing still.
The fifth tackle, the grubber kick, that's a dangerous one. Oh, Lydon just got there before Gerald Cordle. Cordle did well there to get to that ball, but Lydon did even better. Had a groin strain earlier in this week, so I don't think he would relish stretching down to get to that ball. But a good dash from Cordle. So 20 minutes gone, still 13 points to nil. The Betts and Lucas tries, the 2 Botica goals and the Gregory drop ball. Roger Simpson, again gutsy player. One or two of the crowd thinking that that was a high tackle. Paul Gratian, good ball to Noble. But again, this Wigan defence very, very strong. Everyone talks about the Wigan attacking machine, but certainly their defence as effective as any. Summers can't get the ball away. Craig Richards. Was that a knock-on? Well, it looked like a knock-on, Ross, but Mr. Whitfield says no.
No, I'd say he's given the benefit of the doubt. It looked like it was kicked into his body, and unless it strikes your arm or your hand or part of your forearm, it can hit your body and go forward, and it's not classed as a knock-on.
Wigan, the league leaders in Division 1, and of course Bradford, second from the bottom of Division 1, trying to stave off relegation. But a cup tie is a different proposition. Clark. Miles. Bradford not able to put down these forwards. There's too many passes being slipped, too much pace coming outside wide for this Wigan team. Back to Lydon. Oh, he's going to run. He's got support with him now then. He's got Billy McGinty. He's going himself. McGinty's going for the line. And Miles takes it. And he's over. Oh, wonderful try for Gene Miles. But Joe Lydon, neglecting any hint of a groin strain, took everyone by surprise. We were on the fifth tackle. He raced straight down the field, and good support play from that man there, Gene Miles. Belied his 31 years, and they love that there back in Brisbane at the Brisbane Broncos.
Yes, here goes Jay Lydon. He was shaping to kick on the fifth tackle here, and he threw the dummy and went straight up the middle of the field, and he's just shrugged off 2 tackles there, and away he goes. He gets to the Bradford 25, takes a dummy, gets around past the 21-year-old fullback, throws to McGinney, who's doing well to back up from there, gets the ball around the corner to Miles, who once again with his glue-like fingers picks the ball up and dives over for the try.
Yep, Lydon splitting the defence, and good play here from Lydon. Sensed that Simpson was coming across, drew Simpson, and support play again. Oh, didn't he take that ball well? It was off his kneecaps, but he scored. Botica, the most difficult kick of the afternoon for him, just 23 yards out, well to the right of those posts. Uses the round the corner style, and it's there. Excellent kick from Botica, a point-scoring machine, this ex-All Black star. And Wigan almost averaging that point a minute. 19 points to nil.
Here goes Joe Lydon. If he had a green groin and had to pass a fitness test yesterday, he certainly dispelled all doubts in this run. He does well to stand the fullback up there. A great little pass to McGetty. McGetty does well to get this ball around the corner too. That's an excellent pass. Gene Miles has also done well, so it's just not one of those easy tries. There's a lot of good football in that.
And Bradford Northern making another change. Richards coming back off the field, and John Hamer, the original number 10, coming back onto the field. Obviously Hamer had nipped off for some alterations. Botica. Oh, good pass, good support. Bell. Bradford Northern really must put the first man with the ball down. They can't afford Wigan to set up a second phase attack. Wigan, Alex, looking absolutely rampant down there.
Well, obviously they're playing at the prime and playing at the peak, and you know it's going to take a very, very good side to even get near this side. It's an exceptionally good side, and we might have two substitutes coming on, Neil Cowie and Kelvin Skerritt, and just imagine having two guys like that, you know, coming on the field to one international and one going to be an international. But the important thing for Peter Fox is now, what does he do? I understand what he feels like, but there's nothing he can do about it.
Oh, we'll see. Henderson Gill, former Wigan favourite. Good turn from Henderson, getting a good rousing cheer from the Wigan fans. And there is Neil Cowie, £80,000 buy from Rochdale Hornets. Again, another youngster like McGinty, snapped up in the summer by the big spenders, Wigan. Hamer looks for support, doesn't find it, and that's the difference. Joe Lydon again. And number 15, Kelvin Skerritt, former Bradford Northern player. Martin O'Fire trying to escape, trying to get loose. To Bell. Gets Botica away, those two side steps, beautiful rugby. But Edwards running round in circles, nobody there. This really is wonderful rugby, handling extraordinary. Gregory again. The long ball to Betts, and Botica on the other wing now. This man Botica's certainly putting some yardage in, Ross.
He certainly has. Like, he's just handled the ball in two tackles there on both sides of the field, and earlier in the match he covered on the opposite side of the field at fullback and covered for Joe Lydon, so he's very keen to get into the match.
Gregory. McGinty. Good tackle by Paul Medley. These Bradford Northern forwards really having a torrid time here in this 25-yard area. Nice clubber kick. Henderson Gill just content to run the ball dead. He'll drop out beneath the post as Neil Cowie comes on for Billy McGinty. Typical tactics of John Mooney. He likes to bring two substitutes on after 20 minutes. Kelvin Skerritt, number 15, former Bradford Northern favourite. And Ian Lucas and Billy McGinty coming off. No injuries, just a tactical switch. And Craig Richards back on again for Bradford. And what a good job has Ian Lucas done. A try scorer and took a little steam out of the much vaunted Bradford Northern pack. Lydon. I think Joe Lydon making a late bid for a Great Britain spot at full-back. Ross?
Well, I've always rated him as a very good footballer, and just this last season and towards the end of last year he had a lot of injuries, and I'd say he'd be looking to go to Australia for sure, and he certainly deserves it.
Oh, tremendous run by Dermot, gets it to Skerritt. Oh, Skerritt almost a try with his first touch, but Henderson Gill doing a fine defensive job there. Cowie trying to sprise his way over, no, held on his back. But still Wigan, Gregory took his eye off the ball. Brian Noble gratefully receives. Simpson. Any particular reasons for the John Hamer and Craig Richards switches, Alec? Richards back on the field again?
No, I think Richards has come on for young Gratian, but there was a problem with John Hamer. He had a cut and he went to the blood bin. But the problem we've got now is people were saying, would Wigan miss Ellery Hanley? And I think this is the answer. Not only are they playing better, they look as though they've never even had him on the side. It must be a frightening prospect for any other team in the league.
Well, I'm sure there'll be one coach very interested in this, and that'll be Darrell van der Velde, the Castleford coach. I'm sure he's watching this very closely, making his notes and planning how to beat, well, let's say either of these two sides yet at Wembley. Still a long way to go. That's good ball, well taken by Skerritt. And these prop forwards running like half-backs, Ross.
Well, we've just got rid of Lucas off the field, and Skerritt's come on, and now he's starting to do the backing up and making breaks up the centre.
Edwards to Cowie. What an improvement in this lad after just one season at Wigan from his Rochdale Hornets days. Gregory again looks for the short pass. Surely that was a knock-on, yes, but good play from referee Whitfield, the advantage. Wigan. Good run by Roger Simpson. Wigan 12 times the Challenge Cup winners, and that just gives an indication, Ross, doesn't it, that territorial advantage. What a problem Bradford have, and they can't afford to kick out their way, can they, because they've got Lydon picking up the ball.
Well, Lydon's having a blinder. Like every time the ball's coming down to him, he's running it back as far as the guy kicked it. 27% is not very long to have a ball when you've almost had 40 minutes of football, and because of that, Wigan have taken the full advantage of their position and have scored the points.
And there is Lydon. Good kick and chase by Gerald Cordell. Botica. Wigan moving the ball out to the right. Henderson Gill there on that left wing, number 5. Got a bad ankle strain. Ofire not found any freedom yet. I think one would expect to see him as Bradford Northern possibly tire in the second half. Cowie. Good strong run by this Wigan forward. Short ball to Clark. Good support play from Light. 35-yard pass to Cowie again, the dummy. And these two, just look at that for the forward. The dummy, the pass, and then the grubber kick that nearly puts a try in. Quality play from Neil Cowie there.
Yes, I thought Cowie, if he had a look to his right, he had 2 Wigan support there. They possibly could have scored from that. He might have been a little bit early in putting that kick in, but what a superb kick it was. It certainly showed a lot of skill by the second row. Here it is now, nice long pass going out to him, and he throws a big dummy here, but you can see the 2 Wigan players on his right there, and as he makes the break, he possibly could have picked them up again. But gee, that's a well-positioned kick.
Precision kick, and it's Wigan ball again. The long ball to Bell. Miles, he's got a fire. Oh, a bad pass. That would have been a certain try. Gerald Cordell got across, but assured everyone, if that had been a decent pass from Gene Miles, there would have been no stopping this man. He would have launched himself for his 6th try of the season.
He looks disappointed there because he is one player who loves scoring tries, doesn't he? And when he misses a simple one like that, he feels disappointed.
He does. He's been out for so long this season, in dispute with the Witness Club, and only signed halfway through the season. Green to Furbank. Bradford Northern still plugging away down the middle here, but trailing by 19 points to 0. Good burst by John Hamer, but the ball to the ground. Lydon again. Snaps everything up. Joe Lydon, the man who scored way back in 1988 over Bradford Northern, incidentally started this wonderful 23-match successive win in the cup. Edwards. to Betts. Wigan getting himself a little tied up there. Good tackle, good strong defence by David Hobbs. And I think Dennis Betts has fallen awkwardly though. Very hard, strong player, just 22 years of age, one of the new breed of rugby league forwards, superbly fit. Gregory, the short ball to Clark. Clark inside again to this man, Cowie. Just look at this lad go, he's inches short. The fire, he's over. Yes! The fire spotted the gap. The gap was there. The plunge by Neil Cowie had caught it. And O'Fire scores, not the sort of try we're accustomed to see from him. Not the long stretching of the legs and the head back as he sprints down the touchline. But they all count 4 points. He spotted the gap, he dived over, and it was a try.
Yes, we're just talking about how he loves to score a try and disappointed if he doesn't. And like he's come in here, not to his usual role. But here he goes. Cowie's just dropped short and he's gone into dummy half there and he's picking the ball up. Everyone's waiting for him to pass it because they wouldn't expect him to dive forward. But there he goes, stretched straight out. As soon as he puts that ball down, the big smile on the face. It's great to see.
And really, that's bad defence that had to play the ball. The second man should have covered that, but he didn't. And it's 4 more points.
Yes, I think Bradford are starting to suffer from the way Wigan threw the ball around early, and their forwards are finding it very tough to resettle after Wigan have made a break. They're finding it too quick for them at this stage.
Whittaker looking for 4 out of 4. No wind to contend with. Just hits the upright. No wind to contend with, and also no wind just to drift that ball in. But at 23 points to nil with just 4 minutes to the half-time, I don't think Whittaker will be all that concerned. And that was the plunge, that was the drive that really set up the try. He's disappointed, is Cowie, but he can think to himself, he set up that one. Good entertainment, Alex, for the big crowd, if a little one-sided.
Well, you can always tell what kind of a game this is. Robin Whitfield, who's just been wiping his brow because he also must be a little bit under the weather. He must be feeling the pace of this game. It's paid at a tremendous pace, and you've got to admire this Wigan side.
And Dean Bell now racing through. He's taking Alex Green on himself. He's going for the corner. And Dean Green's got him. The fire's in on hand. Can he beat Cowdrell? He does. Now then, can they go on the other flank? Wigan, just get it. Miles, Ryan again. It's Potter now going for the other corner. 1 side step, 2 side steps. The support from Kelvin Scarrett. Oh, this is wonderful play. Wonderful play from Wigan. Switching from one side to the other. The short ball. He's in. It's a rout. Joe Lydon shoots it at the corner. The running is breathtaking.
Yes, here we go. Gene Miles goes into dummy half, shapes to dummy, then throws the one-arm pass out to Joe Lydon, who's snuck out to that far blind wing. People wouldn't have expected Joe to be there. They would have thought he was in the centre of the field, but he snuck over that side. Gene Miles has picked him up, dummied for the big gap, and then threw the long pass out to him, and he had a clear run to the line. Excellent football.
Yes, we can just see here the quick thinking. Miles knows that the forwards and the backs have all come in. There is that yard of pace, and that's clever full-back play. Being in the right place at the right time. And the Wigan fans in good voice here at Burnden Park. Songs ringing all around the ground. A good 10,000 of these fans travelled from Central Park. Whittaker, impervious to the noise. It's a good kick, it's a good effort, it's there. 2 more points from Frano Whittaker, taking Wigan out to 25 points to nil, would you believe it, in a cup semi-final. And Ross, just what can Bradford Northern do?
Well, he goes a kick from front of go Boddicker. When he's kicking like this and they score and tries it well, I don't think there's too much you can do. I mean, that kicks from the sideline and it's still going up and across the uprights.
And these two centres, Gene Miles and Dean Bell, are so influential in this Wigan side now. Alex, we just asked Ross what Wigan can do. As a coach yourself, any advice?
Well, I know how Peter Fox feels. If this would have been a boxing match, I think it'd have been stopped by now. But you've got to just listen to what happened at Wigan. They trained Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday and never dropped a ball in training. Now that tells you how confidence, what they think of the chances of going to Wembley. They're just coming on song. This must be one of the greatest performances of all times.
Whitfield just spotting something there between one of the biggest men, Craig Richards, and one of the smallest, Andy Gregory. Lydon again now relishing this role, and certainly John Mooney must. No wonder John Mooney has signed on for another year's term of office at Central Park. Done a wonderful job in his 3 seasons. Gregory, the high one. It's a tester for Green again. He's lost it again, and Edwards is in! Yes! Sean Edwards is in! The youngster Green, not quite up to it. And Wigan, the old professionals that they are, testing the youngster. It was a high, hovering ball. It was not forward, and Edwards was on the spot. In for his 30th try of the season and now joint top for the Rugby League try scorers.
Gregory's put a great ball up here. This is a perfect bomb. It comes straight down on top of the little fullback. Up goes Lydon, tits the ball backwards, and the ever-present Sean Edwards is there for it, stretches out for the line and goes over for a typical Sean Edwards try. I mean, this is a beautiful kick. This is ideal for young people who wants to watch rugby league. The young kid's gone up well enough and brave enough, but he hasn't quite got the height of Jay Lydon, and the ball's tapped backwards.
Just look at this for a kick. It goes high, it goes even higher. Now just look at the good play here of Lydon. He's up there, taps it back. Edwards on hand. It's a formality. But is this a formality for Boddicker? Yes, it is. The kicking machine, Franel Boddicker. And Wigan go off to an incredible round of applause from their fans. 35 points to 0 at half-time. And I don't think any...
Wigan 35, I will emphasise that's a half-time score as we rejoin Ray French.
Yes, suffering is the word, I think, and I just wonder what Peter Fox has had to say to those lads. They'll come out, I'm sure, try to put a little pride back in that jersey. A tale of woe for 40 minutes, but wonderful rugby, a spectacular exhibition of all rugby talents from Wigan, and that graphic tells absolutely everything. Bradford Northern in possession with the ball in their hands for a mere 7 minutes. I don't think I can ever recall a match like that. And the ball actually only out of play for 6 minutes. That just shows you the high-speed action that this rugby league is. 34 minutes of action out of 40. Wonderful from Wigan, Ross.
It certainly is. Like, when you look at their stats, there's only been 4 scrums, which means the game's been a flowing game. Only 2 penalties, which means Whitfield's done his job, and you know the players have done the right thing. And then when you get down to the amount of possession that Wigan's had for the errors that they've caused, I mean, they're playing almost perfect rugby league.
Alex, have you heard any instructions for the second half?
Well, I have heard a rumour that Peter Fox has said to the lads, do you want to go out? Well, I can't believe that's true. But just listening to what's going on the bench, Wigan are on 2,700 a man, and a lot of people said worth every penny of that. But last night, it just shows you the strength in depth. I've just been talking to Stevie Hampson, and Stevie is almost fit, but he's getting very, very concerned about getting his place back. And Sam Panipard, who played in the A-team last night, the A-team won the Alliance competition 38-12 against Widnes. Now that shows you the talent they've got available at Wigan, not just on in the first team, but also in the A-team. It must be a very, very frightening thought for any other team in rugby league. This must be one of the greatest team performances for a long, long time.
Yes, and Bradford struggling with those meetings since 1914. Just 4 wins, and certainly it doesn't look as if it's going to be increased today. But if I know Peter Fox, and I think I do, he's a proud man, he's a fine tactician, an excellent coach, and he really will have had some words to say to these lads. And as in the first half, we start straight back in that Bradford Northern 25, and really Bradford in a dilemma. They really haven't got the pace to sort of run their way out of trouble, and if they try to kick their way out of trouble, they just give possession to this Wigan machine.
I think the best Bradford could do at this stage would be to move the ball around a bit, forget about their forwards and let the halfbacks take over and move the ball around the pitch and hope they can make a bust and capitalise on it. But they certainly do need to score a try for their confidence, because that's virtually all they're playing for now.
Leiden. Little Fire coming in now, looking for work. Good ball, he's made play there for Bell. Simpson and Henderson Gill had a lot of work on this left wing. They've generally been in the thick of things with the tackling. Skerritt, former Bradford Northern player, Great Britain prop, and just on the substitutes bench in this great Wigan side. Gregory. Always there's a second line moving up with Wigan. And trouble there, obviously a dead leg for Dennis Betts. I thought he'd fallen awkwardly, but got the ice pack on. So it doesn't look as if Dennis Betts will take any further part, but I don't think he needs to, Ross, does he?
No, I don't think John Money would risk such a valuable player when the score's, as it is. Someone like Betts, you can put him in cotton wool and get him ready for next week's match.
Mr. Whitfield, but is he short or is he? Little controversy there. Has Mr. Whitfield given the try? He's walking back. Well, he appears to have given the try. I don't think the crowd knew. He certainly didn't indicate. He looked for support from the touch judge, but a try it is. A second try to Martin O'Fire. Sheer pace went round the cover there at the corner, and he's in for his second try. And I think that took everybody by surprise, Ross. Well,
the referee wasn't sure, and give Robin Whitfield his due here. He asked the linesman, because the linesman was sitting right on it. There goes Gene Miles again, passes the ball to O'Fire, beats that tackler there and heads for the try line, and they come across in cover defence, and he's diving for it. And the camera obscures our vision as well, so obviously the referee couldn't see, but the linesman was in perfect position. If you can spot the linesman this time, Ray, you can see that he can see it.
And just look at O'Fire launch himself there. Is he in? Yes, just gets the ball over, then the flag goes down. And here we see it again, and it's sheer pace and strength. Not just a flyer, but strength in those thighs. Now, he dips low as a good wingman should. Well. Debatable, Ross.
Well, he's put the ball short of the line. He hasn't lifted it, so he's actually slid to the line. But whether he hit the upright or not, I don't think we'll ever know. The only real judge can be that far linesman.
Well, whatever it is, try or try not, it's O'Fire's second try. It's in the record books.
Here he
is. Counts.
He hits the line just short, about 2 or 3 inches short of the line.
He dips.
There's the ball there now, and then he slides across with it.
Slides it across and touches the corner flag almost, doesn't he? But whatever, 39 points to 0, and Wigan break the first record of the afternoon, the highest score ever in a semi-final. We go back to 1913 when Huddersfield beat Wakefield by 35 points to 2, and already that record shattered, and I think some more points to add to that. Alex, what is the extent of the damage to Dennis Betts? It looks like a dead leg, is it?
Well, what we'll do, Ray, we'll do better than that. We'll ask the lad himself. Dennis, how bad's the injury?
It's very, very sore. I can't hardly walk now. It's just getting worse. It's a dead leg more than a knock on the head. I don't know how it happened. I just brought the ball up and took a knee in my thigh, and I just couldn't walk after that.
Well, there you are, you have it from the horse's mouth. He's been told to sit on the bench and enjoy the rest of the game, but it does look very, very painful, and John Mooney's done right by bringing him off.
Back to Lydon. Now then, can Caudle restore a little pride to this Bradford Northern side? A strong lad and great rivals of Fire and Caudle from their rugby union days, almost standing up to each other there. I can remember one game at the Arms Park when both Caudle and the Fire scored a hat-trick on Easter weekend. And here they are in opposition again. Craig Richards. Good break there by this strong little man, Brett Eating. Andy Gregory didn't quite like that. But Bradford's first really consistent attack, and it's Henderson Gill, former Wigan player, bobbing, weaving about, very strong lad. Difficult to put down with the fifth tackle. Summers, will he try the rubber kick? No, electing to run it. Hobbs, he's got good support now, Medley, on the outside, he must get in the corner, yes! And at last, Bradford Northern get in at the corner, restores some pride to the side. It was good rugby, it flowed as well as any of the Wigan movements. And Gallows Shelford is 29 years old from the Bay of Plenty in New Zealand, rushed in for his 12th try.
Yes, it's a good try, this one, Ray. We were just saying the only way they were going to score would be to pass the ball across their line. And they have. There's Medley, gives it to to Shelford, who heads for the line. And he does well to put this ball down as well. But what doesn't show is that the ball actually came from the far touch line. They spread it right across their line, and they've really stretched the Wigan defence for what I feel is a really good team try.
Yes. That was good rugby. It's skipper David Hobbs who set the movement, and Paul Medley, strong, free-running second row. Good pass. And Shelford electing to go inside. Good cover from Botica, but not quite. And Hobbs from the touchline. Just underneath the crossbar. But at last, some points on the board. 39 points to 4. I should think, Alex, a little confidence there for Bradford.
Well, obviously, they'll be very, very pleased about that, because you've got to really feel sorry for Bradford. What can they do about it? You've got a Wigan side who's fighting and in every department. It's probably one of the greatest performances they've produced for a long, long time. And I feel sorry for Peter Fox in a way. He's got to keep his lads going, and being to credit to Foxy, he's probably said to the lads, look, go out and do what you can.
And if anything, Ross, they are trying to move this ball a little wider than they did in the first half, aren't they?
Well, that I think was their mistake in the first half. They didn't make Wigan work at all when they were defending, and if they move it around, they'll come up with a couple more tries in this half too, and good luck to them for doing so.
David Croft, substitute, number 14. And it is skipper Hobbs who's trying to keep this ball moving. Big 16-stone man. One or two of the crowd over there just a little aggrieved, thinking that there was something going on between Cowie and Hobbs. Green. Good tackle by Phil Clark, number 13, the Great Britain under-21 skipper. Back to Summers. Tackle again by Simpson. Quite a few times we've seen Roger Simpson, number 4 for Bradford, covering back there. Not quite the support play we expect from Wigan. Offside. Carl Furbank.
Foolish play.
It was foolish play, but I think he thought he would have a go at Andy Gregory there. A forward can't resist it. Carl Furbank coming back from the offside position and clobbering Andy Gregory. Surely Wigan won't go for goal. They'll put this ball in the corner. Well, they are. They are going for goal, I suppose. Quite a few boos ringing around the ground.
Here it is now. Skerritt there goes for a little run, passes to Edward. Edwards puts it back inside to Gregory, and Carl Fairbank, like he came from almost the Wigan fullback position to tackle him. Would have scared the daylights out of Andy.
So, a shot for Botica, possibly no more than goal-kicking practice, 28 yards out. Looking for 6 goals. Again, no win. The corner flags on the corner post, hanging limp. No. I'm surprised Wigan went for that goal there, Ross. I mean, with such a points advantage, really, I think, gone for the corner.
Well, I've got the impression, you know, from the first 10 minutes in this half that maybe Wigan are just trying to run the clock out.
Botica to Clark. They do have an important championship match next Wednesday at Craven Park against Hull Kingston Rovers. You don't think they're sort of holding back at all, do you?
Well, I think they might, because they could have easily went for points there, and instead of that, they elected to take the kick, which does take time. And, you know, Wigan don't seem to have the spark that they had, you know, earlier in the match. And when you're leading by such a big margin, that does tend to happen.
Bell. Clever play from Bell. But still this relentless pressure on Bradford Northern. Skerritt driving in, relishing this game against his old opposition. Lucas, all good dummy from Martin Dermer, finds Lucas again. This prop looking for a second try. But well stopped by Brian Noble. Noble, number 9, former Great Britain captain himself. Gregory, he'll go for the dummy, surely. He gets it to a fire, and there's his hat-trick. The Fire's in for a hat-trick of tries. It's taken a Fire some time to get going this season, but isn't he enjoying himself this afternoon? 3 tries from Martin O'Fire, and his dream of a Wembley appearance in a Challenge Cup final very much on now.
Yes, once again, Andy Gregory and Sean Edwards. Andy Gregory goes through the gap there, ball over the top, the ever-present Martin O'Fire. What else can you say about him? Just strolls over and puts the ball down.
Yes, he only came back to action last week, Martin O'Fire, after being out with a hamstring pull, but certainly nothing wrong with those legs. Just look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's in.
Yes, it's a good pass by Andy Gregory here. Like this halfback combination, they've got to be the combination that goes to Australia, because they just keep coming up with something, and when you've got a finisher like Martin O'Fire, it certainly makes the job a lot easier.
Botica, by far his hardest kick of the afternoon. But certainly this man likes kicks from the touchline. I've seen him put many of these over at Central Park, and there is another one. Oh, it's a beauty. Struck clean and true, right between the posts. Delight on the Wigan fans' faces, and what a tale of woe for the Yorkshireman. What a tale of woe. But how happy that man is. A hat-trick of tries for O'Fire. And who knows, could we see some more? So, Northern kicking deep. Andy Gregory launching the attack again. And there is the man supreme. Is there anyone out there that can persuade this man to take up Test rugby again? Because I'm sure Great Britain would welcome him in Australia. And here is Miles. He's looking to a fire now. He's racing in the middle. Can he get himself out? No, he gets the ball to Edwards. Look for support again. Dean Bell. Bell going for the corner. And that's a try again. Right from the kick-off. This is an unbelievable performance. Sheer magic here from this Wigan side. Assembled at considerable cost, but it takes coaching skills, extraordinary coaching skills, to blend a side like this. Wonderful try, started by O'Fire off.
Yes, Martin Afai's done tremendous here. He's done something that he hasn't done at Widnes, and that is got himself in a position where 3 people were going to tackle him and unload the ball, and he's given probably Sean Edwards a difficult pass, but at least it was a pass, and one that Wigan could finish off the try with Dean Bell going in the corner. Here goes Martin now.
That's right, here we see him. He's coming in field far more than he did in his Widnes days, and a beautiful pass from him. Support play again from Bell. And just look at that, into that corner again. No chance for those 3 Bradford Northern lads.
Well, it wasn't so long ago where, you know, once Martin Afai had the ball, you had to see where he was going to run because he had no purpose. But now he knows where he's going, and he's quite willing to unload a ball to a person in a better position.
Botica looking for a repeat performance from the touchline. Comes in. Not this time, just under the post, but Wigan comfortably there, 49 points to 4. And would you believe it now, the second record this afternoon, the highest aggregate of points in a semi-final, 48 points go by the board. 49 for 53 points we've seen in 55 minutes. And I think, Alex, we're going to get a lot more as these sides tire.
Well, we've just been having a discussion on the bench because everything's happening down here. They're actually making a video while the players taking part. They're interviewing players on the bench. It's like Hollywood down here. It really is. It's exciting. The lads are confident, and it's showing on the field. John Mooney must be a really proud man because from 1 to 13, the lads have gone out there and done the business for him. This must be the greatest team performance there's been for a long, long time.
It certainly must, and we can see there's expectation on this Wigan side. They want more points. Just look at that ball, and now then, here's Lydon coasting away. It's like men against boys, ripping the heart out of this Bradford side. He's still going. The ball moving out to a fire again. Now then, he's got caught, and it's a 2-to-1 situation. Edwards just ran Martin O'Fire out a little. Back on, surely. Yes, it is. Contented, satisfied, and I'm sure another year's contract to go. What a coach. And I wonder what must be going through Peter Fox's mind. I'm sure that he'll live to fight another day. A very resilient coach, great sense of humour. And I think he'll need it today, Ross, won't he?
Well, I think so. Well, at least he's in a position where he knows his side can't win, so he's got plenty of time to compose himself before the end of the match.
Good pass, Simpson. Oh, good break by Roger Simpson. He's got Carl Furback trying to get with him. Just couldn't get there. Good tackle, good cover tackle by the hooker. Martin Dermott, he got back. But this is better from Bradford. Craig Richards.
Roger Simpson's actually had a good game, Ray. Even in the first half, when he touched the ball, he was always dangerous. And I think every time he's actually taken the Wigan defence on, he's come out with some sort of a break.
And Wigan's defence as keen as ever. You wouldn't think that they were approaching the half century, but still coming in very, very quickly for the tackle. And just look at the sweat pouring down Roger Whitfield's forehead. It's a good job he's trained hard this summer. The referees do have a fitness test. The controller, Fred Lindop, really puts them through their paces. And they have heart tests and body fat tests. In fact, every test you can name, and Robin Whitfield is up to it. Good behind the scrum move there. Notice Paul Medley lying out wide. Paul Gratian coming back on for Richards. There is Paul Gratian. Simpson. Hobbs still trying to drive his side on. Henderson Gill. I'm sure a try from Henderson Gill would get a cheer even from the Wigan fans. 3 times a Wembley winner with Wigan in the 80s. Summers. Simpson. Oh, well picked up by Botica. This man is a fine footballer, Ross, number 2. He's everywhere about the field.
Well, that was perfect position. Like, he should have been on the right-hand wing. Instead of that, he was standing back, giving Lydon a hand at fullback. And, you know, he knew they were going to chip through or do a bomb, and he was there to assist and to pick it up. And when he did, there was a chance he was going to run the full length of the field.
Oh, he hit the ball behind him. There was nobody standing there. A moment's relapse from Wigan puts Bradford under pressure again. Hobbs, back to Gill. Henderson Gill been featuring in a rap band lately, but I'm sure he'll not want to make a song about this. Carl Furbank. Good play by Furbank. Good loose forward play. Constructive. Not the best of passes. Paul Medley couldn't take that. Again, Bradford come more into the game in the second half, Ross. 33% possession, but not, again, just the one try, isn't it?
Yeah, 33% is better than the last half, and I think they've made the game more entertaining. They've passed it around, and they've come up with a couple of good breaks, and, you know, it may show Darryl Vanderbilt something for the final.
Well, there'll certainly be one rugby league team very pleased at this. I had a call from the manager of the new Dublin Rugby League side, who have adopted Wigan as their professional favourites. They're watching this back there in Dublin. I'm sure they'll be delighted by this performance and wanting to copy it, as will the schoolboy teams who have also formed over there. Platt. Very quiet but effective game from this Great Britain prop forward. He's had considerable trouble with ankle injuries. Gregory. Lucas, oh, good pass from Lucas to Cowie. Gets it away to Skerritt. Edwards now then. Oh, fire was coming inside. Edwards points to him, tells him off. And O'Fire knows if he'd stayed on the outside with his pace, it surely would have been try number 4. Should never have come inside, Ross.
Now, here it is here. Edwards positions Martin quite well here, but Martin's already coming back inside, and he's done that in the last 2 or 3 occasions that Wigan's had the ball, and I think if he had stayed out there earlier, he would have came up with probably his 4th try.
Good run from Gerald Cordell. Gill. Strong. He's elusive. It's almost as if he's on a rubber band, and there's that grin that he shows how much he enjoys the game. Obstruction. Martin.
Yes, it must be a free kick. The Wigan player has came in to dive under the ball, and once again Fairbank has pushed him out of the road, which is instructions which Robin Whitfield has quite correctly picked up.
Yeah, Robbie Whitfield, a player in his own time. I remember playing with Robin, and he certainly knew a few things about obstruction. He'll not miss anything like this. Yes, Carl Furbank just pushing Martin Dermott out of the way.
This time Wigan have elected to run it, Ray, so they feel they must get back into this game.
Skerritt, powerful drive. Dummy by Lucas. This really is the testing time for Bradford Northern. 17 minutes remaining. They must be tiring. The pack have been ran all over this ground, and yet they've still got to keep tackling like that. 4 of them it took to stop Neil Cowie. Wigan now surely will spread this ball wide. They've pulled 6 forwards in around there. That was the trick. That's it. Surely. Couldn't get the ball to O'Fire. A try gone begging there, Ross.
Yes, I think if Jay Lydon hadn't have hung on to that ball and slipped it straight across to O'Fire, he definitely would have been in, but Lydon decided to take the winger on himself.
And I think just apologising to colleague Martin O'Fire. Bradford attempting to run the ball and entertain. Good ball to youngster Green. What an unnerving experience for this lad to be brought in here against the mighty Wigan. Gill. Andy Gregory knowing how strong is Henderson Gill. Hobbs, that's a nice kick. Oh, it's not worked out that way. Now then, Scholes, Skerritt should have let the ball go. Gene Miles to a fire. Surely into the corner. He is number 4. The pace, the power of Martin of Fire. No wonder Wigan paid £440,000 for this man. The world's costliest player. Former Rosslyn Park star. For 4 years the leading try scorer in rugby league, and now making up for lost ground. Once he has that ball, Caudle in vain, round him, and he's in. Just an inch or two off the touchline, Ross.
Yes, Skerritt's done well here. He's pulled in the Bradford defence, slipped a good ball to Gene Miles, who takes in Caudle, puts a one-arm basketball pass again that he's famous for to Martin O'Fire, and he puts it down the same spot that he's put 3 other balls down on.
And the power and the strength of Gene Miles, having a renaissance to his rugby league career here, Gene Miles over the former Test player. Just look at that stride, a sprinter.
Yes, on that occasion, Ray, he made sure he stayed on the outside of Gene Miles.
A thoroughbred. Class wingmen beat people on the outside, Ross.
Very much so.
Botica, a classy goal kicker, but not this time. So, Wigan moving to an incredible 53 points to 4 here in a semi-final. And dare I say it, Bradford highest score against was 75 points against Leeds over 60 years ago, and that is well within sight. But I think Martin O'Fire there will have to score a few more tries than 4 if he's to reach Wigan's highest ever score, would you believe it, 116-0 against the amateurs Flimby and Fothergill. I know it sounds like a firm of solicitors, but it's up there in Cumbria. 116-0 way back in 1925. So, points galore here this afternoon at Burnden Park. Oh, to Clark! He's got Botica away! No! To Medley. Play on, says referee Whitfield. And Bradford trying to regroup. Simpson. Green. To David Croft. Pogration. Not the best of passes. Oh, and neither was that. Well tackled by Paul Medley. He knows he just dare not let a fire go. Flat. Dermot got Edwards on the outside. Edwards and Gregory content this afternoon to create the chances. They've bossed the midfield. They've moved this ball around. Oh, Rayon. Brian Noble gets it out with a knock on again. But at least, Alex, I think Bradford Northern trying to play rugby and really making this such an open game.
Yes, they're doing all they can, Ray. They're being totally outclassed. They're being well outgunned in every department. And I think we're having a substitution here. Billy McGinty looks as though he's going to take the field. But the guy you've got to really think about this game is the man in the middle. He must think he's going to need a week at the Elf Farm after this performance, because he must be really, really tired out there.
Can you recommend him one, Alec? Wigan a little casual at the moment, Ross, obviously throwing the ball around.
Well, it's getting towards the end of the match, and I feel they're sort of making sure they don't get injured, and a couple of them are walking, and they maybe they should lift themselves, because this is the time when you can get hurt, when you're not sort of putting 100% effort in.
And I think a little ominous for Bradford Northern. Wigan coach John Mooney bringing on Billy McGinty, but Andy Platt, a much faster runner in these closing minutes. And Billy McGinty there in the backs, very, very pacey, eager to get on. Good pass, and that's a better pass. Now then, Gill going for his favourite corner. He cut inside and score, and that gets one of the biggest cheers of the afternoon from Henderson Gill, former Wigan player, a winner with Wigan at Wembley himself in 84, 85 and 88. And look at the Wigan fans greeting a former hero. Had a wonderful rapport when he was at Central Park with the fans. And, well, Bradford Northern may be down, but certainly he's showing everybody that famous grin that he had at Wembley when he did that little shimmy. And it's a good try for him, Ross, isn't it?
Well, it is a good try. Look, he's been competitive all afternoon. You know, he's been there in defence, and every time he's got the ball, he's always made ground with it. And, you know, Gene Miles, you've done well to get around him, and also to get around Joe Lydon. So it's a good try, and it's well worth it. And, you know, the smile on his face shows that even being down by as many points, he got a big thrill out of scoring.
And all credit to Bradford Northern. They've not given up hope. That's good wing play. Always very, very strong with the upper body strength there.
Once again, Ray, they passed the ball out along their line. You know, before the ball's come to Hobbs in this long pass, has gone through two other sets of hands. So, you know, maybe Wigan might have a weakness if a team throws the ball around against them.
Yes, the try, and very well converted by skipper David Hobbs, taking the score out to 53 points to 10. So just 9 minutes for Bradford Northern to hang on in here, regain a little pride, and none played better than this lad, Roger Simpson. He's weaved about in midfield, he's made the occasional break, and he's put some good cover tackles in. Andy Platt has just come off the field. Alex, any injury or just a tactical switch?
Well, we'll just ask Andy. He's sitting down, he's having a sip of water here. Andy, just a protection just to come up for 5 minutes?
No, I think, you know, we had two solid forward subs on the bench, and to give him all a run, I think he's worked into where Ian came off in the first half, then went back on. I think he just, you know, give him all a run later on. I think that's the idea.
Is it just quick out there as well, it looks from here?
It was very quick early on. I think that's what we did, you know, our game plan was to hit him very, very fast early on and try and get some points on the board, and that it worked out exactly right for us.
Well, I think you'll be changing that water into wine later on, won't you?
Maybe. You know, I like a drink of wine every now and again, you know that.
Gregory and Edwards again, still waking down. He's made that gap for Phil Clark now then. Can Clark go on his own? No to Botica. It was a pass from the loose forward there, Phil Clark. Time to perfection. Good loose forward play. And Conor Botica was on the end of it. Not had as many scoring chances, try-scoring chances as Martin O'Fire, but what he has, he's taken them. 57-10 now. And just look at those points amassing there for Botica.
Yes. There goes Clark. He's had a fairly good game, this kid. Every time he's touched the ball, he's been in a hole. And all the time he's known where Franco Bonica was. He takes on the fullback, gives a good pass out to his right-hand wing. Bonica just goes on with the business. And I'm sure this is a lot easier kick than what he's had from the opposite side of the field.
A lot of promise in this loose forward. I saw him out on tour in New Zealand in 1990 as a youngster. Good ball player. Just look at that pass. Brought those two men in superbly. And good support play from Botica.
Yes.
And Botica, well, he must be thinking it's his birthday. 11 attempts at goals, not a particularly great strike rate for this kicker.
He hasn't had too many easy ones in that 11.
No,
like most
no,
of them have been on the sideline.
He hasn't. Which again is testimony to the Bradford cover. They have at least been pushing Wigan out wide, haven't they? There's been no easy meat down the middle.
Well, when I'm coaching, Ray, I say to the boys, if you're going to let them score tries, make sure you make them score in the corner.
Well, another 2 points. That's seven goals now for Botica.
Here goes Cowie again. As I said before, Ray, every time he gets that ball, he's heading for that try line, and he doesn't look for Botica. He knows he's going to be there, and as he's taking the tackle, it's a perfect pass. It's copybook straight out of the textbook, and Botica, knowing he's got to have the goal kick, brings the ball in closer to the post to make his job a little bit easier.
And 18 points for Frano Botica with 6 minutes to go yet. Bradford certainly will be wanting to get into that warm bath afterwards, relax and, well, I think concentrate on retrieving their position and remaining in Division 1. At least they can take the consolation from this match, a £9,000 cash to the losers and a good proportion of the gate receipts. And there's Phil Clark going again, looking for support. He beats Green, he can't get the ball away. Miles just couldn't get it to him, but it's the quick play the ball out to Gregory. Gregory to Lydon, Lydon to Edwards, Bell. It's a procession, everybody queuing up here. And it's the speed of the play, the ball, that's catching Bradford out so much. Cowie gets it away to Miles, he's in! And Roger Whitfield tackles him. And at least if Bradford Northern can't put him down, Roger Whitfield, he says, I'll have a go. And Gene Miles comes up laughing. Well, his fifth try of the season, Ross, and poor old referee, he's done everything. He's ran all over the place. He's had to cover every try. And when Neil Cowie sends the 16-stone Aussie former Test centre through Gene Miles, Robbie Whitfield says, well, if nobody else can stop him, I'll have a go.
Yeah, they do the run around here with Andy Gregory. Neil Cowie goes through that little hole. Looks like he stopped, but then G-Mile comes from nowhere, puts his big arm out, scoops it in, and just strolls over for a try. Cowie does really well. I thought he's had a very strong game, and he's come in off the bench, so he's rated not in the top 13 for Wigan, but he certainly played strong, and John Mooney's got to consider him for future matches.
He certainly has had a very powerful influence, and no problem for Gene Miles. Botica looking to extend his points tally. Is this the 8th? There it is. There it is. 65 points to 10. 4 minutes to go, and could Wigan inflict a danger? But just look at Robbie Whitfield here. He's run all around for 76 minutes, and then he has to make a tackle like that.
Well, that's one of the best tackles we've seen by the Bradford mob today.
I think there's a future prop forward. And Wigan still driving away. Kelvin Skerrett. Cowie, good ball. Lydon. On fire now, then will he take Cordell on the outside? Oh, just look at him go! Oh, this is a spectacular surely! That is a try and a half from Martin on fire! Well, 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 his 5th try of the afternoon, and would you believe it, he hasn't, I understand, even got the man of the match. That was an absolute classic. I said earlier on that the finest wingmen beat their opposition on the outside. They show contempt, they show a clean pair of heels, and just look at this from Martin of fire. Ross, doesn't he go?
Well, Caudle had him covered this time, and it was just a matter of him tackling him, and with that pace he's just got away now. Even now the fullback's coming across and has got him all set, and he come inside, done a little jig, gone back to the outside, and the young 21-year-old just wasn't in the race. I mean, that was one of the best wingers tries I think I've ever seen. It was brilliant.
Yes, this is an absolute classic from a standing start. Now Gerald Cordell, the Bradford Northern wingman, he can run. He's left for pace. Simpson's left for pace. The movement's inside. Poor Green's flat-footed, and it's a try. Contemptuously, he strolls behind the post. for his 5th. 71 points to 10. And the conversion again by Franomotica for this try, taking Wigan even further out. An incredible 71 points to 10. And you know, when I mentioned earlier on that Bradford's biggest ever defeat was 75, there's a minute to go and it's on the cards. Cowie. And Wigan still thirsting for points. Gregory. Good kick. Gerald Cordell struggling there. I think he's obviously had a hamstring pull to his left leg. Gene Miles, number 4, the man of the match. I think adjudged. Well, he scored the tries, he's created a lot of play, and of course he's given those final passes to Martin Offiah. Good wingmen need good centres. Roger Simpson runs into a brick wall there in the shape of Dean Bell. Hobbs. Wigan now, the fans singing their praises, and to their credit, many of the Bradford Northern fans stayed and remained to watch this wonderful exhibition. And gutsy performance from players here like number 4, Simpson. Hobbs. Green, good play by this youngster. Good and the handover. All credit to Bradford, running the ball, moving it. Dean Bell.
Ray, I've been impressed with Alex Green in this second half. Bradford have offered him
2 minutes into injury time. Lucas.